Let's just double check audio, see if it's all good. All right then, hello everybody. Welcome to BRL Season 14, Round 5 here at Spa. This is our last race before we have a couple of weeks break, obviously with Christmas and New Year's coming up. We will be back after this one on the 7th, if my brain searches correctly, at Monza. But right now we are looking at 15 cars. We should have 16 once Kadon is with us, but at the minute he's having a few internet issues. Hopefully we can get him in as soon as possible. I don't know if there's any rain about at all, but I don't believe anyone is saying they're reporting rain in the minute, so that is good news for the drivers. Maybe not as good news for us, but yeah, it's been a while to see some rain, so maybe we can see some a little bit later on in the season. Right now, though, it is looking dry as anything out there. We will be seeing soft tyres, maybe someone intermediate if they wanted to check their equipment, but other than that, it is sauce for everybody. We're going to quickly run down the championship, though. Rose currently leads by only 5 points after picking up the win last time round to Wolfie, who is on 94 points. Only a 5-point difference between the pair of them, but then we have a massive gap to Hank over here in the Red Bull, who I believe, look at that, is in the white Red Bull. This has just actually come out today, so it looks, well, lovely, in all fairness. Some people are saying I was going to get that one confused. Well, with not this car, that is the pink V-carb. That's also been out today, but someone said I was going to confuse it with this one. But I think it'd be a little bit easier to spot. Obviously, a lot more blue on this one compared to this one right here. Kadon is in, so that is good news at least. We have got 16 drivers. But yeah, quickly talk about the rest of the standings here. We've got Hank in P3, 56 points. Baz, still overachieving, I have to say. 54 points in that Mercedes. He is here today as well, so hopefully for him, he will get a nice result, maybe to put him back up to P3. We'll never know. Blackbone in P5 on 48 points, so a little bit more of a golf to Bluebird on 35. Papos on 30, Hazard on 22. Yanni, who raced last time out, he is on 20. He's on 22 as well, but he is only on one race so far. And Notorious, who also is only on one race so far, but he did pick up P3, and that was what he had for his result. But anyway, let's see our first lap. So we're going to go with Kodoi into the first turn. Already up to 100% battery once again, but Selma looked pretty nice there. You've got to really nail that apex and see if you can put on the power as soon as you can. But it is quite difficult in these cars. And right now, he doesn't choose to use any ERS going up by Rouge and Radion, but I know some people definitely will. That is quite a time saver throughout this qualifying. So people do want to do it. You've realistically got to use a lot of ERS through this first sector, but he's not used too much. Either way, Kodoi should be on a pretty decent lap so far. 30.9 first sector, definitely can be improved. I think we'll probably see as the highest, maybe it's the 30.2s as our first sector, by everybody absolutely burning the battery, sending it with their lower wings as well. That'll probably be the lowest we'll see in the first sector. But yeah, right now, leaving a little bit of margin through this first lap. But obviously, it's a bit of his warm-up lap. You've still got 14 minutes of the session. You don't know what's going to happen on this lap so far. So at the minute, he looks to be pretty nice, but it's very committed through Poo on there. And it looks like he's actually got quite a lot of wing on. That was very easily flat and with some space to spare on the outside. Looks pretty nice here through the chicane. Kadon made it finally. Yeah, good job, mate. You're in, which is good news. Touch grass will be slightly there on the exit of that final quarter of sector 2, but it looks to be all good so far. 15.2 through here now. I mean, obviously, that is not the actual sector time. That is the overall time. But we'll probably be seeing around a 1 minute 43 here for Kodoi if we're going to pit a lap up here. But yeah, he's used all his deployed A. You can see it at the bottom, but you can see he's still got 30% battery left. So I'd honestly say less use through sector 2 in terms of your battery, more use through sector 1 and 3. He gets a little bit squirrely coming out the final quarter. Let's see what his time is. A 43.5. Pretty much what I predicted. So there we go. Good stuff. Baz Brains, will he managed to use up that one. But also, he's got 54% battery, so quite a lot of people, I don't think they're really utilising their batteries as much as they should be at the minute. Bluebird is now going to go to the top of the times with a 41.9. So, yeah, already see the laps tumbling quite quickly as some of the quicker drivers are coming through. I'm going to predict pole will be low 41s. I could see someone in the 40s, definitely, if they hook a lap up together. But at the moment, though, his teammate Hazard goes into P3. Wisburn there in P2, about 6 or so tenths down, 7 tenths down even, on Bluebird there. I was going to say maybe one of the stars of last race, but definitely was right up there, Wisburn. Doing all right in a minute, but quite a way away from the Ferrari there of Bluebird. Our Henson Ben have just set their laps. In the background, we've got, I was going to say Arbnor. No, it's not. It's Hank. And my goodness me, hold on a minute. Bluebird is 7 tenths clear at the moment. I was going to say maybe we can see up to the 40s. Oh, there we go. Rose, 41.3. That has put a lot of distance between everybody. 6 tenths ahead of Bluebird, who him himself is 6 or 7 tenths ahead of Hank and Wisburn. But right now, we've got some pretty interesting grid results here. Obviously, Wolfie yet to set his lap. Arnold yet to set his lap. G. Benny yet to set his lap. Blackburn too, and Caden as well. All of them will be setting laps at the minute. And we'll go on board with Wolfie here as he comes runs to the final couple of corners of this racetrack. Obviously, Rose and Wolfie, the two we should be looking out for. Those two are the main title rivals in this season. Where will Wolfie go? Just ahead of Bluebird there. He slots into P2, Bluebird in P3. Obviously, move some of these guys in a minute. Was Arbnor got damage? I think Arbnor actually might have had some damage on his car there. And I think he has. Yeah, the end plate. He's gone on that car. I'm not too sure what happened. But G. Benny looks to maybe try and pick up a toe from someone here. Surely someone be willing to give it to him. I don't know. But Kadon coming to the end of Sector 1 now. There's a 31 there. So not the quickest. But his teammate here, Blackbone, gets out of the way as he's on his outlap. And G. Benny sails on through. Gets a little bit of a toe, I think, for the Ferrari as well. But the Ferrari, once again, will pull back there. And now G. Benny's nailed his final corner. He had a very impressive qualifying in Silverstone last time out with a P5 start. Let's see where he's aiming for today. He's P8, a little bit lower than he should be, if you compare it to his Silverstone qualifying. But right now, I'm sure he'll take any qualifying which has a lap set. So we'll have to just wait and see for now then. Blackburn looks to start his lap in a minute. Caden, I think, has already backed out of his lap too. But right now, because it's such a long lap, he can sort of hold on for a minute, really, now. Everybody else realistically just in the pit lane, not really too much going on. Arbnor finishes lap with a 1 minute 53, but it looks like he's going to go again here. He's got his battery fully charged up, but he's got a very dirty car along with his wings still slightly damaged, so I don't know if he's just goes to a bunch of laps on this, sort of get used to it, see how everything goes, and then go from there. I don't know, but it looks like that's what's happening in a minute. Oh, and that's who is that? Is that Wolfie trying to get back to the pit lane? He's on a lap. That's not very good, but no, he's not. Kadon trying to get Wolfie out of the way. He's going to start his lap, and Wolfie just teleported back in there for a second. I don't know, it was just me. But yeah, Arbnor about 100th down a minute. Other people are trying to go back out there for their laps immediately. Bluebird, the main one. Kodoy 2, he's another one. Baz Brains, all three of these guys went out basically at the same time here. But you've now got Kadon. I don't know if they know, but he is starting a lap right behind him. Colville loose session, so we'll have to quickly get him back in. Although you have to give me 1 second here. Hopefully there's no impeding here. I think Kadon. Oh, it's very close between him and Baz there. But Kadon is 10th up. We'll quickly invite Colpillo back into the lobby wherever he is. There he is. Colpillo with an invite back in. Hopefully he'll be all okay to join back as soon as possible. But yeah, people right now, Arbnor a couple of seconds up. Obviously, on this Cyber 53 is not very representative, and Kadon probably the same here. He'll need to definitely get a bit quicker on this lap, and he definitely looks like he's going to there. Does have a little lift through Pooh on there, but he seems to be all right so far. I'll maybe let's give Colville another invite here. I'm not too sure if he's actually seen that invite yet, but we'll have to wait and see here as Kadon continues on. I think he just has Bluebird in the way at the minute, but Arbnor to the line was very far away, and interestingly enough, look at what is coming down on the visors. This is why those first laps are important, and this is why I think everybody was going back out again. It is starting to rain already here, and that might be it. That already might be it. I don't know what's happening. But I think this is why these guys really need to set their laps ASAP. Kadon will pretty much has to use this lap as his benchmark. I don't know how quick it will be, but let's have a look. He comes to the line. It might be a 44, and he gets really, really squirrely there. But he gets ahead of Cole Pillar in the end of things. He could have got ahead of Ben. Oh, and there's Wolfie on his outlap. Okay, thank God these are all outlaps at the minute. Thank God. But Arbnor, unfortunately, I don't think he actually found any improvement by the end of it. Kadon just letting everybody go as they are starting their laps. We'll have to wait and see if any of them start to improve. I think Bluebird will be the main one to look at. But look how much battery he's used already. He knows he's got to go for it, and this is what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to absolutely send it through this lap. He is a 10th up on his time. If he can hold that through, though, is the question. Hank already retires. He thinks that is it. That is done for this qualifying session. There might be 10 minutes left, but it does not matter. This might be the quickest that you could go. Let's have a look. Oh, he leaves the session. In fact, what has happened there? He might actually need a bit more, but just something going on there. He actually is parked up as well, so we'll need to invite him back in. Bluebird trying his best. That is right on the limit through Puon. You could see it, but now the raindrops are really falling down. He might be able to find a 10th or a couple hundredths on this lap, but I think that'll be all he can find. He's doing his best so out there. And you can tell here to shift back, and there you go. Look, he's backed out. I think that is everyone's laps done, although there are some people who maybe can improve, who may not have had the cleanest of first laps. Baz Brains, our heads, both these guys going through. Ben as well, Kadon as well. Arbnor coming to finish his lap, I believe. Rose, though, couple tenths down already. Wolfie should be even further down. Bluebird 4 seconds down. Whisper a couple tenths. Hazard, he was a 10th up. He's now 2 seconds down. This is it. These are laps that are already counted, and they're already done now. G. Benny on his outlap, it does not matter. Baz Brains does not matter. Our Henson maybe can squeeze out improvement. I think he might just have enough leeway, but I don't know how close he is. By the end of this bit, no, he comes into the pit lane. He's done as well. Ben should be done as well. Kadon should be done as well. Cole Pillow should be done. Everyone should be done and dusted here. Wolfie is... Is this actually where Wolfie is? Backwards on the track? I don't know what's happened there. But, yeah, he is actually. But he needs to get going, obviously. Otherwise, he gets disqualified. That will be very, very bad for his qualifying session if he does. So hopefully he has got going, and he has, I believe, yeah, he's all good. Anything else, though? And, yeah, let's double check. Rose won't improve, I believe. Yeah, he's already at 38. But not even with the final corner. There you go. That is everybody done, surely. Unless it dries up once again. Yeah, crazy stuff. We're going to invite a few people back in, though. He's trying to find Hank back in here. But at the minute, I don't see him. He's actually double check. Is Cold Pillow in? I don't know. Oh, Whisper disqualified. Oh, Whisper, where are you? I don't know how he's been disqualified. He's been going the wrong way. I don't know if he meant that one at all. But I think it's actually not even the first time here. He has been disqualified. That is his P5 spot, I believe, on the grid. No, P6 spot, from what I can see here. Yeah, that's his P6 spot gone. Henson retires for the session as well. Surely by now everybody should believe, like, look, this is it now. We're all done. There you go, G Penny. As I say that, he is off the track too. We're trying to get the other people in. We still need Hank back in. There we go. Hank is back in as well. Believe, is there anyone else? Cold Pill, I think, is one that maybe needs to be in here too. But here you go, look, all the grid, retiring from the session. They know it's done now. Wolfie should retire in a moment's time. Bluebird should be as well. Hank is back in the lobby. G. Benny's trying his best to improve, but look, it's too wet out there. Wolfie retires from the session. There are cars still going out, though, interestingly enough. Maybe for a slight bit of interest running, but no, they're on soft. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Maybe Arbnor's the only driver who can maybe improve. But after that, I don't see another person at all who can really do anything. Yeah, we can at least talk about this quality, though. There's about 4.5 minutes left. Yeah, K. Boredom. That is the way of saying it. I'd honestly say, mate, just retire from the session. I wouldn't mind if you retired on track. There's only 4 people left. But I will very quickly just go through the grid. Rose on pole, sort of expected here, but with a 6-10 gap to Wolfie, I wouldn't have thought so. But yeah, just Bluebird and Arbnor now, the 2 left to retire. But yeah, Rose will be front row once again. Bluebird, bit of a surprise P3, and actually by a little margin here. I don't know if Hank made a mistake or all in his lap, but he definitely should be up in that 3rd spot sooner rather than later. Blackbone in P5, pretty nice qualifying from him. Hazard the same, actually, a very nice qualifying. He might be well off the top times, but he's well ahead of the rest at the minute. Hazard Kodoy actually about half second clear of G. Benny, who was a star last week in Silverstone. Baz rated P9, decent qualifying for him. Same for Henderson P10, Ben P11, just ahead of KDOM. And there you go, DRS disabled. That is it now. This has got to be done. Everyone needs to sort of retire now. That is it. We are not improving on these laps. Arbnor, once again, he might improve. This will very likely, though, not be any sort of improvements. Look, he is sliding about everywhere on that Red Bull car. He probably should call it a day by now. There's only a couple minutes left. But, yeah, I think it is over. There's no chance we're going to be seeing this dry up to dry conditions now. Look, the tyres are just not sticking to the road here. He's having to go well on the inside, in fact. For I believe that's Jackie X corner. And yeah, other people, I guess, Pablos obviously, he chose actually not to do a lap. So for those people wondering how he's going to be doing in this race, we'll just have to wait and see. And Wisper disqualified. He was actually P6, but yeah, Hazard has now inherited that P6 spot, and there you go, Arbnor off the track now. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Yeah. Can we retire when it's obviously improving? Yeah, it's just Arbnor now. Yeah, I'll let him know. But forget everyone. It's not really going to be improving. Look, you can see here, Arbnor, he's about 7 or 8 seconds down. But look, by the time he's finished with this lap, he's 153 already. And that's before even these final corners. He surely... he's not going to go again, is he? Go on, Arbnor. Just give us a retirement. He's doing his best, but look, 12 seconds away from his time. He's on 2:06. He's still going. Oh my goodness! All right, we're going to watch Arbnor try a lap on this track on some very damp tyres. If any of you want to have a look, but I think he's on AI now. You can see what the throttle inputs, and there we go. Oh no! Don't leave the Oh no! He's left the session. Oh no! Oh, he's left. Oh no! Oh god! Okay, right. We need to get back in this. Oh no! Okay, right. Anyway, right. We'll just quickly run through the grid. Rose on pole, Wolfie alongside, Bluebird in P3 and Hag P4, Blackman P5, Hazard P6, Corduroy P7, G Benny P8, Basbrains P9, our Henson rounds out our top 10. Ben in P11, Kane P12, Colpiller P13, Arbnor P14, Pablos and Wisburn round out our rows. God's sake. I'll try and get back in as soon as I can, so I might be able to sell you all the tyres and all that sort of stuff. But, oh, God's sake, there's a retirement button, but I didn't think he'd leave the session. I've got to try and pause it as soon as I can here. I can't pause it for the minute. I need to wait for a countdown on top of the... or should be a countdown on top of the screen, but I don't know. Right, Arbnor here. Oh, KDOM's left again. Oh, my goodness me. We're having an absolute nightmare with some of these connections here. KDOM, I'll give him a couple of invites. He should be all okay. Let's make sure he knows. Right. Oh my god. I'll just make sure they get that extra invite just in case they don't see it. And then we'll have to quickly shift back to all this stuff. Right. Okay. I'm not hearing the timing go in a minute, but at the moment, we're going to have a look at the tyre sections. Medium hard should be the strategy here. We could maybe see some two-stop runners, but I highly doubt that'll be the case. If anyone's going to try and do it, it'll be someone in the midfield, I believe, just trying to do something else to one-up everybody else. But right now, we can't really focus on that. We've got to focus on the 5 red lights. We've given everybody invites. We are now ready, and it's a very quick set of lights, and we are underway. And it looks like a pretty good start there for Baz. G. Benny really getting dropped down. Rose, though, leads to Sir 1. Wolfie trying to go on the inside. There might be contact, but no, Rose just seems to deem out space. It's a bit of a car park on the middle there. There's quite a lot of people off the track as well. Bluebird loses that position to Blackbone, who's having an electric start there. He's up into P3. Hazard up into P5. Hank down into P6. And look who's realistically right up each other right now as we go towards Lecom, Wolfie, side by side with Rose. Who is going to blink first? Wolfie ducks back into the slipstream. He's going to go back on the inside. He tries a little fake. There's a little bit of contact between the pair of them, but Rose keeps that lead. Blackbone still in that P3 spot, and Bluebird holding on to P4. Hank not having a great start at all. He might be getting passed by Hazard here. Hazard on the inside. He just manages to do it, I believe. Hank really struggling on them hard tyres at the start of this race. Even further back, there's Henson and Kodoi fighting each other. Hopefully those two don't come to blows, and I don't think they have. And right now, the top four, pretty much saying is off the line. Hank's right on the inside. Hazard has to leave him room. Hank loses out a lot of speed in the end of it, but G. Benny having a pretty good start. Ben as well with a lovely start. Pablos too. Up, I think that is 6 positions. That was 7. As Ben goes wide, Baz trying to go around the outside. Ben leaves into space. Looks pretty nice so far, but Baz Brains has got the measure of him. And Pablos out all the way past G. Benny. It is 2 by 2 by 2 here. As Kodoi just quickly back past Ben again. So after his electric start, he is already dropped off. Hank, though, is pressurising Hazard here. We're going to quickly turn on all the position changes, maybe. Look at the start for Pablos, up 8 places. Kodoi, unfortunately for him, he is down a couple of places, but he's now fighting with his teammates. He's going to try and go around the outside, and around the outside of 2 he tries to go, but it's an absolute mess in these final couple of corners. G. Benny overcooks it. It's our 3 wide. Let's spin at the back. It's Cold Pillow. Let's see what these guys do here as we try and see Hank. He's now past Hazard. Hazard gets very close to the back of him. Pablos now, though, looks to try and make some sort of move now, going towards Eau Rouge. Nothing happens so far, but Whisper now is past G. Benny. Whisper making slow progress in this race, but he is still DRS. We're going to go even further, side by side, through Eau Rouge. Kanom and Ben is a little tap there, and Kanom is off the track, but now Pablos has been passed, I believe, by Baz Brains. Yes, he has. And Hazard as well has also been passed. He's now down to P8. Baz having a little bit of a track excursion there, but we don't mind that one at the minute. But there's head strike on the inside of his teammate there, Kodoi. I don't think anything else is going to happen here so far. But look at the onboard, actually, from this V-Carb. This looks really nice, actually. I really like that purple livery. But anyway, enough about the purple livery. We're going to look at the tyre selections for this race. Bluebird, the main one really actually to look at here in a minute, he is on the hard tyres. Obviously, he loses out a lot to these guys initially. The hard tyres are very slow around this track, especially off lights out. But they'll come back to him sooner rather than later. There's contact between Henson and Kodoi. Henson looks to be half round, and he is half round once again there. And once again, Henson and Kodoi coming to blows, I believe. They definitely had some sort of jabs at each other in Silverstone, but now it's coming a little bit more like proper punches. And now Henson down to 13th. Will probably have some words to say to his teammate as well. Both on the medium tyres. Other people are on hard tyres. They're Pablos and Hazard. Pablos, the main one, obviously having a great start too. Same with Hank. But Hank, in a minute, losing a bit of time here to Bluebird. And here we go. He's in the pit lane. I don't know what's happened to him, Hank. But he probably is going to have to force 2-stop now, unless there is some sort of damage on his car. I believe that there's got to be. Let's have a look as Hank comes into the pit lane. Not seeing from this camera angle. I believe that was round there. Cole Pillow, unfortunately for him, he retires the session. He did, and that is him down and out. But right now, we're going to cut back to the lead of this race. Rose and Wolfie have both cleared Blackbone's DRS, and Pablos now absolutely flying out there. He's up into P5 already. Do not count him up for a top 3 spot still. Even though he started 15th, he has got the pace in that Williams car. And once again, new Golf Williams as well. We haven't seen this one on track, I don't believe. I don't know if Ardnor is back in. Is Ardnor back in, or is he Ghost Car? I believe he is back in. Let's double check this braking. Yeah, he's all okay. He's back in. He's doing good. But yeah, right now, I think the main 3 in the fight for the podium, if we discount these 2 at the minute. Blackbone, the main one. Obviously, he's got that position advantage. Bluebird as well, and Pablos. Those are the main 3. We can maybe see Baz in there as well, and I would have said Hank before he put onto a set of mediums, but he has definitely got a chance now to show his pace further down the back of the field. And meanwhile, we've got a little bit of a DRS train forming at the minute from behind Whisper, and interestingly, he's unfortunately not been able to make any sort of moves on his hard tyres the way that Pablos has, starting right next to him. Arnold leaves session again. Oh my goodness me. Right, we'll try and get him back in one more time, but the connection is not too great for him. We've given him a few invites there. Hopefully he's all okay. Oh, and that's actually a little close there. There's Pablos and Baz Brains getting right up close to each other actually now. So Pablos after his really good start, he's probably now feeling the effects of those hard tyres. Baz is going to think about a move to the inside. Pablos locks up, goes a little deep there. Baz definitely has a chance to capitalise, going down towards Eau Rouge Radion and then up towards the Campbell Straight. We'll have to see though actually in the lead. There's going to be a change of lead here as Wolfie now on Rose. Both of them using battery. Wolfie tries to pull out to the inside. Rose, can he defend? No, he can't. Wolfie takes the lead at the minute as Baz Brains is now past Pablos. So after that slightly mediocre qualifying for him, he is up into P5 now. Obviously on a set of mediums, but we know that he's got some pretty damn good pace a minute actually on the medium tyres. He needs to make sure that they last for as long as possible. Meanwhile, further down the field, not too much going on at the minute, other than Hank picking up that penalty that I think we mentioned earlier. I believe Arbnor should be joining back soon. We did give him a couple more invites. Gobbin actually retired because there was no feeling or vibration in his controller, which does make sense. It is pretty bad when it actually does happen, and when you can't really fix it, it's pretty difficult to drive with that by the end of things. But yeah, right now, Pablos, we did see him go wide. That will definitely be a warning if the game is consistent with them, but usually they are not. So maybe Pablos will be able to get away with that one. I do not know. But right now, actually, we're just going to put our attention to the front of the field. I did once again invite Arbnos, so hopefully he can join back in a minute. But right now, look at these two go. Wolfie's got a bit more ERS here to play with, but Rose, look at him, he's putting the pressure on. The Sauber, has Wolfie got a bit too deep? He has got a little bit deep here. Rose can definitely set up a switchback move if he wants to, but he will stick behind the Sauber for now as Wolfie covers off decently. We'll have to see now going towards Sauber. Well, Wolfie just let it by, wanting that DRS, and let's have a look. He does cover off the inside there, Wolfie, but no, not really any signs of wanting that DRS. And now look who's closing up. Blackbone in the Aston Martin here just picks off that DRS detection point. He's got no battery left to spare, neither does Bluebird, but I think Bluebird may be in one of the best spots here in a minute if he can actually close up to this DRS window. But right now, Rose, even with the lesser ERS, he has that DRS power and he takes back the lead for the time being. But both of them are actually on pretty equal battery as Pablos now past Baz Brains, really dropping away actually from Bluebird at the minute. He's doing quite nicely as Henson there, after his little fighting bit with Kodo in the first couple of laps, that seems to have sort of redeemed itself now as our Henson up into P9, these two. Quite frosty as teammates, but yeah, they're still getting some decent points, so I have to give them that one. And they're doing their best out there at least. I mean, Kodoy obviously might have some words for Henson, or Henson might have some words for Kodoy, but that will be saved till after the race. It will not be done on track as Hank is past. It goes to Carb Arbnor. I'll give him one more invite, but if it just doesn't seem to work, it doesn't seem to work. I've given him a couple of invites previously, but yeah, if it doesn't work, then I'm not sure what else I could do for him, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Arbnor, if you are watching the stream and you do want an invite, and or if you're messing with Discord, I know I want to try and check them, but unfortunately, when I've got comms to do, it's a bit hard to check Discord constantly. But yeah, anyway, right now though, we are having bit of a stalemate in a minute. There's obviously a few people in DRS range, Wolfie and Rose are the main two. But yeah, a little bit of a stalemate in a minute as some people really start breaking away from their DRS bits. Pablos and Baz Brains, one of the main examples here, these two are very close together. But Baz now probably feeling the effects of the tyre a little bit as Hazard now is closing up. Kodo, interestingly, into the pit lane, only on lap 5. At least for him, he did this 5 whole laps on medium tyres. And obviously on to lap 16 now pits. Will this be an early undercut for him? I do not know. Arbnor is back in the lobby. He goes on to that set of hards, so maybe there is a chance for an undercut here for Kodoy. Ben as well, trying to go for the undercut. No, he actually doesn't. He goes on a set of mediums, so he will be nailed on a 2-stop. Kodoy, he might be on a 1-stop, but we don't know yet. But meanwhile, nothing else too crazy is happening in a minute. G. Benny probably trying to make a move here on Kadon, but everything seems all okay in a minute. One good thing, at least from what I'm seeing, is that there's not too many incidents out on track. Before I jinx it, hopefully it's not going to happen. But anyway, yeah, right now, Rose and Wolfie are doing all right in a minute. I think Has actually made a mistake there. Look, grass on his tyres, gravel as well. I think he's gone wide at turn 8, and now he's Hazard, who was in good position actually, close at the Baz Brains. He'll need to do that one all over again, and Wisburn has to do the same here now as Baz Brains really dropping off a little bit from Pablos now, and definitely have to look a bit more behind him rather than in front of him. Interesting enough as well, Blackbone and Bluebird, both of these two are now coming around to each other, and we definitely have a fight for first, second, but we also have that fight for third and fourth now brewing up between the pair of these two. Obviously, we do not know the tyre wears. We do not know what the strategy is. I'm assuming all these guys will be doing medium hard to hard or hard medium in the case of Bluebird. But yeah, right now, I'm not too sure what the tyre wear is at all. Obviously, on the medium tyres, you will be feeling that effect a lot more by now. And I'd probably say maybe about 40 to 45% will be around where you'll be in a minute. I mean, maybe stretch to 50 if you've got an aggressive setup. But yeah, you'll likely find that your medium tyres can work a little bit more. You can maybe pit as early as, I'm going to say, lap 12 if you're on the hard tyres, but you might need to do quite a lot of saving for that one. But right now, we're going to look at this fight. We're actually going to look at the other fight up in front as Rose and Wolfie side by side till they come. Bluebird could make the move, and there's a little bit of contact there between Wolfie and Rose, but Rose has to yield in the end of it. And now Bluebird very close up to the back of Blackbone. He might have to do one more lap behind the Aston Martin there if he wants to try and make a move. Wolfie, in fact, what's happened here? He's let him by, I believe, or he might have made a mistake. And Wolfie now is getting closed up to by Blackbone and Bluebird. Both of them. I don't know what happened to him. Then there was even a lag back. I don't know what's even happened, but whatever it is, he is now back into that P2 spot. Maybe actually letting it by, in fact. That could be actually another thing that I sort of didn't really consider there. But yeah, could have let him by as well. Maybe that little bit of contact he didn't think was fair, and he decided, yep, we'll let you by. Want to avoid that post-race penalty, or at least a chance at a post-race penalty, and I confirmed would be behind Rose in the end of things. But anyway, Kodon picks up penalty. G. Benny, Hank, and Kadon. Oh, wait, no. Kadon, G. Benny, Hank, and Kodoy. All those guys have got penalties at the minute, and right now, look at that. Blackbone closes up just enough into that DRS range, and look who's here as well. We've also got Bluebird on that alternate strategy here for that hard tyre run. We'll have to see how he does by the end of this race. But Blackbird already losing quite a lot of time. Bluebird really trying to tell him to hurry up at the minute. It looks like he's trying to pull out there, trying to see his braking zone as he's closing up further and further to the Aston Martin. This will probably be Bluebird's chance to make a move. Yellow flags out lower down the field. Arbnor looks to have made a slide, I think, down later on in the field. But yeah, I think Bluebird here has got to make this move, and he's going to make this move now on the inside. This will be a pretty easy move for the Ferrari driver, and he makes it stick convincingly. There was pretty much no fight there put up by Blackbone, and that is him up into that podium position now. He will want to try and close up to the guys out front, but I don't know how quickly he'll be able to do that, or if he'll be able to do that, in fact. And will he be able to drop Blackbone? That's another point as well, because Blackbone right now, he's showing all right pace, but since probably a couple of laps ago, he's been getting caught by the Ferrari, and let's see now, with that dirty air now affecting the Aston Martin, will it be biting him back further, and he maybe even further into the clutches of Pablos here, we don't know yet, but Pablos driving a pretty nice race as well. We'll give you the laydown of stops a minute, only 3 people done a stop in a minute, Hank, Kodoy and Ben. Hank, I think, had to replace his wing at some point, and look at some of the position changes here, Pablos and Wisburn, both up in the double digits, so that is somewhat wide, I think it's bad for brains. So, yeah, he's picked up penalty as well now. Has unfortunately him down 2, but he's still doing a pretty good race at the minute. Yeah, very good race, in fact. And Blackbone, here you go. Look, I was just about to ask the question, and there you go. Look, he is dropping back. Bluebird is catching, but this will be roughly around the time where these guys think about a box into the pit lane. Let's see. Will any of them decide to do so? And will any of them really decide to try and fight Bluebird if they are going to? There is one into the pit lane, and it's Rose, and Wolfie now will decide to stay out. And I think he actually hasn't made a little mistake there. Yeah, it looks like he has, because Bluebird now only 8/10 back on him, unless he was that close beforehand. Blackbone as well, into the pit lane. He has followed the Haas in. Now, there is a safety car. This could work very well for the guys out in front here. Maybe not for Bluebird, but definitely for the likes of Wolfie. I mean, hell, Pablos as well, to be fair. You know, he is on them hard tyres. That will help him. Bad Braid as well. Another one that will help. Hazard, maybe 2. We don't know yet. But right now, Rose filters out pretty decently here. We'll probably catch Hazard within a lap's time, and same with Bad Brains. Our Henson, though, has got Blackbone right behind him. I don't think he'll probably put up that much of a fight here, Blackbone. Let's have a look. He uses... Henson, sorry. But yeah, there you go. He loses all the battery that he can. He uses all the DRS he can. Blackburn makes the move pretty convincingly there. Goes a little bit deep and actually makes it a little bit worse for himself there, but he seems to be all good, and he is all good by the end of things there. Bluebird, though, trying to stick on Wolfie in a minute, but I think Wolfie now knows this is the lap where he has to pit, so I think he's pushing quite a lot on this lap. He wants to really sort of be around that Rose Blackburn window, but his ideal bit is to have a Hazard hold him up that little bit more here and try and go quicker than the Ferrari. And look, you can see it. He's using all that battery that he's tried having saved up. Bluebird's just, I think, wants the DRS, but Wolfie's having none of it in a minute because all he wants to do is he wants that undercut to not work from Rose. And there you go, look, Bluebird in the DRS range now at least, but Wolfie should be in this lap. He's pushed quite a bit on these tyres, and surely this will be it. Unless he wants to get undercut, he decides to come in, and I mean, he's put on a pretty good time in all fairness, but I don't think this is enough really to cover off Rose in the end of things. Let's have a look, as Rose is very close to Hazard. Can't make the move, and Hazard goes deep. Rose has to be very careful with him. This could actually work out here for Wolfie as he pits onto his tyres. Let's have a quick look. It's going to be very close between these guys coming out of the pit exit. Let's try to see if we get a little bit of a further camera angle here. Wolfie comes out of the pit lane. We can see him through turn one, and look at that. One lap fresher tyres for him, and Hazard, I mean, he's the blockade between the two at the minute, but Hazard surely will let Wolfie sort of go here, as Wolfie obviously not in his fight. And yeah, there you go. Rose hasn't really had the undercut work to his advantage here, as Wolfie now is through and is pretty much back up to Rose again. So, yeah, unfortunately for Rose, that strategy has not really worked. Pitting early has not worked for him. And now, for these guys out in front, what they want is a safety car in a couple of laps' time. That would absolutely help them to the maximum. And then these guys, they'd have to pit. Otherwise, they'd be really stuck on what to do. I should believe they have a second set of mediums, but definitely a second set of mediums or a second set of hards, and they definitely have some fresh softs as well. Obviously, without quali really being a couple runs instead, it's literally just one lap quali there in the end. Yeah, those guys also have a pair of soft tyres to go on to. Bluebird doing pretty solidly out there on the hard tyres, but Wisburn, he's getting caught pretty hand over fist here by Rose. It's fully expected with 9 lap older tyres by this point. Yeah, we'll definitely have to see how that develops, but right now, Bluebird continues on further in this race. Pavlos continues on, or should be continuing on further in this race. Let's have a look. Yeah, he does as well. And Wisburn should be 2, as I think he's trying to catch Pablos now. Their gap's only a couple seconds out. It was, remember, a couple places in the end. But now, only a couple seconds. That is definitely manageable for him. And now Blackbone right on the back of Hazard here. Hazard probably has to let this one go too, but obviously he wants to try and lose as little time as possible. Hank in the pits for his second stop. This will probably be a set of hard tyres to the end of the race. But yeah, been a bit of a miserable one here for Hank in the end of things. He unfortunately suffered wing damage early on, and now has to get on that set of hard tyres. That's his second stop now done. He will need to come out of this race and absolutely send it across some of these places. We'll have to see what else is going on so far though. Kadom, I mean, low position's not really so much going on. Blackbird gets past Hazard there. Ben retires the session, but no, that's in the pit lane. That would have been very good news if that was on track to any of these guys out in front, really. But yeah, well, actually, something I also actually want to check here is warnings. Now, quite a lot of these people may not have the most amount of warnings here, but Bluebird on 2, Pablos on 2, Wizard on 1, Rosie on none, Wolfie on 1, Blackburn on none, Hazard on 2, Batswain's on 4, and Kodoy on 3, Henson on 2, Hank on 4, Kado on 4 as well. I believe it's G Benny on 4. One of them probably be a collision warning there. Ben on 2, Arbnor probably on 2 there as well. And yeah, I mean, other than that, it's looking pretty penalty-free for most people. Obviously, the people who have got a penalty, not really by much, maybe a warning or 2. But yeah, let's actually double-check some of these guys' reasons of why they did get some of these penalties. Bluebird, assuming that be exceeding track limits, a load of these be exceeding track limits, or corner cutting, there you go. A lot of people also crossing the pit lane exit white line, but that's all okay. It is completely allowed to do so in here, as long as you do not do it twice in this game, because otherwise that will be punishable. And we will leave it to what is set in the race as is. But yeah, right now, look, Wisburn will have to fend off Rose and will have to fend off Wolfie. Now, will he put up a fight is the question, because obviously he needs to fight for position too. Let's see, will he try and do it? No, he pulls off to the right-hand side. He lets one of the cars through, and now the second car may do a little bit more and just drive around on the straight to have him pass. Let's have a look now. What will Wolfie do? What will Wisburn do, in fact? Will Wisburn sort of just let him go, or will he just run his own race? Wolfie trying his best to get past the McLaren here, but he cannot run through this traffic like it's a ghost car. Let's have a look. Wolfie probably should maybe try and make a move. Maybe down here, I don't know. He needs to try and make it somewhere. Otherwise, that gap is just going to keep increasing and increasing, and it is continuing to increase. And Kodoi heads to get very close to touching again. Kodoi off the track there. Unfortunately for him, he's not able to hold a position. Now Henson moves up a place, and that was very close to more contact between the pair. And yeah, right now, not really too much is happening here for Wolfie. He's losing time. And time he is losing he's bloody losing a hell of a lot of time, in fact. To Rose, it's only 2 seconds now. He has to make the move here, surely. But he's not making the move here. Look, Wisburn using that battery, probably trying to use a little bit more, in fact. And Rose, look at him. He's almost just in the DRS. Oh, Pablos. I don't know if he actually is here. Let's have a quick look as we go through the next couple of corners. He's not in the DRS towards turn 1. Wolfie, though, is now past Wisburn as Wisburn into the pit lane. Rose on 45.2, pretty good lap from him in the end of things. Let's see how he goes for the rest of this race, but he should be able to make a move past Pablos here unless he wants that challenge by the end of this race here, Pablos. Unless he really wants to try and challenge anything that can help him, he might try and do. Maybe he wants to try and help Wolfie. You never know what some people are going to think around here, but I think Rose's got this one covered. Look, he's going to go around the outside rim once again. Rose up into second now. And it's a net lead the race, as he has a little bit of a weave there, probably saying thank you. And yeah, Bluebird here, still in the lead by 10.5 seconds. That gap will come down a little bit throughout this couple of laps now. Oh, and Ardnor having some struggles down towards the end of Sector 2, start Sector 3. What's going to be Bluebird? It'll be all to Bluebird's ears if that will eventually be a safety car. But right now, he is getting caught by Rose at the minute. It looks to be pretty good here for the Haas driver. Wolfie as well looks to be pretty nailed on here for that P2 spot, but it all depends on the pace that Bluebird shows in his medium tyre stint. Blackbird as well, he looks to be nailed on for this P3 spot, but we do not know. Wisburn should be out of it. He might have settled a P4 or P5, depending on where Pablos will be, or maybe he had to settle for even lower. I don't know at the minute. But there you go. Pablos now is passed by Wolfie, and that is a 2-second gap that Wolfie's usurped somehow. I don't know how he's going to do it. Bluebird, though, continues to one more lap. He probably will be in by the end of this lap. He's losing quite a lot of time now to Rose. I'd assume it gets to about 8 to about 7.5 seconds of a gap between these two before Bluebird comes in. If it's the end of this lap, we'll have to wait and see. Ardnor picks up penalty near the back of the field. Unfortunately for him, he is having an absolutely terrible day. A couple of disconnects as well in this lobby. Unfortunate for him, but Hank now, unfortunate for him too. He was third in the championship. He needs to try and keep going to make sure any sort of result is salvageable here. Kodo trying to make a move. He can't make a move at the end of things. Hank, double lock up on the front tyres, but it doesn't matter. He gets through pretty damn well there. And Pablos, in fact, also sticking to Wolfie so far, but I don't think Pablos will be sticking there much longer. Interesting enough as well, though, no real gains in the first sector for Rose, but obviously second sector is where the magic happens. He's got 8 lap fresher tyres, I think that is, or maybe, I'm not sure actually how they actually count them, really. I mean, this is technically 13 and a half lap old tyres, but it's lap 14, so yeah. I'd say 8 lap old fresher tyres, I'll just go with that one. Obviously, Wolfie, 9 lap old fresher tyres. He's also catching Bluebird at the minute, but I think the one that Bluebird needs to worry about is Blackbone. And I mean, hell, if he wants to try and go for the win, he can try, but that I think will need a safety car, if anything, in this race. Bluebird, though, drops a second in the middle sector. Definitely expected, though. We obviously expect that with tyres that are a lot older. He surely should come into the pit lane now, as everybody else isn't really fighting each other in a minute. Ardnor into the pit lane too. He'll still be picking up a point right now, but Bluebird here surely into the pit lane. He must be done on those hard tyres. He is on those hard tyres. This is Surely going to be the joint longest stint with Pablos. Pablos should be coming in too, as he's now lost DRS. Let's see, let's try and hang it out for that safety car. Let's have a look. No, he comes in as well. Bluebird, though, onto a set of mediums. He will now gun it out the pit lane. He will try to be ahead of Blackbone. By dubbing that what's going to happen, Bluebird only halfway down the pit lane here, and Blackbone already heading towards that first turn. He obviously gets that little bit of a tighter line here, Bluebird, but he's got a couple seconds now between himself and the Aston Martin. You can see him in the background there, Bluebird. Now he needs to not get any warnings, and he's going to catch up a couple seconds in, well, 7 or 8 laps. I think it's possible for him, but he's got to do it quickly, and he has to make sure those tyres last at the end of the race. He also make sure, no mistakes. Yellow flag up ahead, though. What is happening up here? I don't know. I think it's Arbnor, in fact, just letting these guys by. Yeah, I think it's all good. His safety car right now, actually, for him would have helped him a lot. He technically would have been in the lead if these guys boxed, and if he didn't box, then my goodness me, he'd be rubbing his hands together. But yeah, any safety car now could really help him out. And it would help Wizman out, it would help Pablos out as well. It actually help a lot of people out here. Hazard as well is another person who might help out. As he's on those medium tyres, he's set for that P7 finish at the minute, if he can keep going. Bluebird as well, taking time out of Blackbone so far. I said it was 3.4, the gap. It's now already 2.7, when we've gone for only half a sector two. I mean, it gets a bit second one as well, but obviously, mostly straights, we're not going to see too much of a difference there. But Bluebird needs to really not get greedy with this. Obviously, there's a 5-second gap out in front. He might think he's on top of the world now as he's setting the fast sector two. He might actually be able to break Wolfie's fastest lap streak. That is another thing, actually. Wolfie has held the fastest lap in all, in all 4 of the last races, and this is the 5th race right now. Though Rose actually is holding it, so he might be he might be actually the one to break it. I have to wait and see. But Bluebird here trying his best, I think, to get into any sort of DRS going down towards his first turn. Maybe he can actually take some off Arbnor if he can. Arbnor goes deep. Bluebird goes a little bit deep as well, but I think he actually might get DRS off of the lapped Red Bull. Let's have a look. And Bluebird doing his best. You can see he's using all the battery, trying to get into it. Now he has to wait until the gap straight. Will he be in there or will he not? It'll be close, but he's not in there, unfortunately for him. But right now, he's still not worry. The gap is only 1.5. He needs to make sure he saves all that battery to the end of this race, or at least to when he passes that Aston Martin. And meanwhile, though, Hazard doing his best here to get past Baz Brains. Obviously, is to get past normally here with that penalty that Baz has got, but this should be a little bit of a sweeter move for Hazard if he does it on track, and he has that on track here. And also, actually, Hank is past Heinsohn, Red Bull on RB there, both special liveries, in fact, so that looks pretty nice to see in game. But there you go. This is what Bluebird's task is. It's no warnings to the end of this race, and it will be another podium for him. In fact, I don't know if he's had a podium this season, but I know he did have one in Jeddah, which was the previous race, season 13. I think that was someone else getting a penalty. I'm not too sure who it was. Was it Baz Brains? No, it was Arbnor, unfortunately for him. Let me just double check. Yeah, Bluebird, no podium this season. Will he be able to try and replicate what he did in Saudi and get on to that third step? Let's see. And he's going towards final couple corners now. Obviously, on their medium tyres, they will be quicker, but he still needs to make sure he makes them last to the end of this race. And the same with everybody else here. I mean, hard tyres should be completely fine to this race, but he needs to make sure they're in enough of a condition to be fighting people in case of any last-minute dramas. Right now, though, I think there shouldn't be too much going on to this race. There could be a safety car. We do not know yet. But right now, that will really benefit the likes of Bluebird. That will benefit the likes of Whisper. And that will benefit Pablos. All these guys that are on the medium tyres now compared to the hard tyres, they have the option of staying out as well. And they might take it. We do not know yet. But right now, Bluebird has got the battery he needs. Blackbird tries to deploy. Bluebird should be sailing past that with a DRS. He gets 217 mile an hour, and there's nothing Blackbird could do. Bluebird up into the podium places. Will he now try and drop immediately, or just make sure he maintains a simple gap to him? We don't know just yet. But Pablos, look how close he is to Wisburn. Wisburn moves back to the outside, tries to hold it around the outside. He just runs out of room now, unfortunately, Wisburn. Pablos moves up into P5. And that's a battle that's been going on for quite a while in this race. Baz Brains as well, trying to get past Hazard in a minute, but right now can't do anything. Hazard also actually Yeah, nailed on P7 so far. Looks like a little bit of a screw on the exit there, but he should be all okay. And another thing I wanted to mention, Hank and our Henson, both these two is actually still quite close together. G Benny too, close to Kalon right now. Let's see how they go. And there you go, Bluebird has dropped the likes of Blackbone in a minute, and is half a second up on his time in terms of a fast slap. He could get that fast slap point as well, and I think he'd be pretty happy with that one if he's able to do so. Obviously started third on the grid as well, so the top three might remain the same as they are, unless Wolfie here makes a mistake, unless Rose here makes a mistake, unless Bluebird makes a mistake. Any of these guys can make a mistake still. Blackbone as well here, up one position, he should be pretty happy with that one. Happens to Whizbird too, they should be really happy with what they've done. Capitalising on what Hank has done here, unfortunately, which is not a great race. Bluebird, though, fast up the race, 44.4. That's some daylight between everybody else on the 145s there. He should keep that one unless someone goes up fast up attempt at the end of the race. And yeah, it should sort of simmer down now, unless there's anybody wanting to try and go for any fast up attempts or any people like catching up by the end of this race. It should sort of simmer down now. Hank, obviously on the two stop, has done pretty well to recover in all fairness, and I think he will actually catch up to Baz and Hazard here. He's got pretty fresh tyres, one lap less than Baz, and obviously the medium tyres will wear out a little bit quicker here for Hazard. So maybe the fight is not over for this P7 spot, but obviously some of these guys are penalties still. Hank and Baz, both are penalties. Hazard needs to be the one to avoid them. Right now, though, there are some inroads being made at the top there. Bluebird a little bit on Wolfie, but Wolfie mainly is making inroads here on Rosie. The gap is 1.1. Oh, there's a massive snap there mid-corner, though, and now he's going to lose a little bit of time, and he has lost a little bit of time there. He probably isn't too happy with that one, but yeah, gap is back to 1.2 again, so it's very close between these guys out in front. And very similar ERS levels too. I think Wolfie really wants to try and make that move. As Bat Sprains is past Hazard. Hank as well is past Hazard. I think Hazard has gone off again, but I think he just needs to realise that, look, as long as he can stay within 3 seconds of these guys, he should be happy with his result of P7. He needs to make sure he does that, though. Obviously, on them alien medium tyres, they will start dropping off now, and he'll be in dirty air. It will be hard to keep with them, but if he does, he should be all okay. And Henson, actually, in fact, is also maybe going to close up these guys just a little bit. Obviously, on some old hard tyres as well, but you'll never know what's going to happen here. G-Betty and Kane on close to each other too. Bluebird has dropped Blackbone now. Blackbone, unfortunately for him, even if Bluebird takes a retake penalty, he's likely not going to take that first spot on the podium. 10 lap hold hards. Same with Rose in a minute. I don't think that's going to make too many inroads into Bluebird's 4 lap hold mediums. But yeah, been a pretty all right race. Definitely an eventful first couple of laps. But yeah, I think unfortunately here, I mean, unless there's going to be some moves made at the minute, Baz Brains might look behind here as he sees the Red Bull close up further. Hazard as well is closing up. Hank cannot really actually really wants there, and Hazard also might be on the back of him too. Let's have a look though. As Baz Brains decides not to try and play any DRS chicken games, he's getting pushed up. Oh, Rouge and Radio Baz, but unfortunately for him, I think there's been 1 and now 2 places lost as Hank gets by. Hazard should get by here as well, but actually it's going to be a little bit tougher here. Hazard ran a battery to use. He still gets by though, and he's up into P8. He's to make sure he sticks with Hank now once again to the end of this race. But he's not really having the fun time out there as he's dropped nearly a second already to Hank. We did see him having a little bit of a struggle through those next couple of corners, but he should be all right in this race. Someone who also should be most okay in this race, Rose at the minute. He's got to soak up pressure from Wolfie, but it's not the easiest thing to do. Right now, though, if he keeps doing it, he should be completely on for the win here. A little bit of a lock-up on the front there, but I'm pretty sure I'm hearing the lock-ups absolutely everywhere when you had them off. But yeah, right now, though, Bluebird doing a solid up at P3 once again. Blackbone in P4. Great result from him too, if it stays as is. Obviously, no more chance for safety car now. It's too late on. There might be a virtual safety car chance, but there is definitely not a chance for the pack to fully bunch up now. And we're just going to wait, really. It's Baz Brains is past Hazard here, interestingly enough. How far ahead is Hank? Hank has dropped these guys by a couple of seconds. They need to start worrying now. Maybe Hank can actually pull off this P7 spot by the end of things here, if he can hold on to those hard tyres. These guys are not really pulling their weight in terms of pace in a minute compared to Hank. Let's have to wait and see here as Hazard getting close to being out of DRS, in fact. Baz just has no ERS to play with now. Look, he's got absolutely none left. Hazard is trying his best to keep with that 3 second gap, but look, he's getting very, very close to going outside it. He might even be outside it by the time we reach the next straight. The good news is, though, he's going to get that very good helping of DRS that he so desperately needs. G Benny comes into the pit lane as well. This is likely an attempt at the fastest lap. It looks to be Bluebird, who I think is in a 1:44.4 from my memory. But yeah, fresh soft tyres, he should be able to do it. Let's have to wait and see on that, though. Hazard gets back up into P8, and if he can't get P7, he at least knows he's ahead of Baz, and he will probably stay ahead of Baz no matter what happens, as long as there is no warnings that's going to happen to him. But right now, though, we're going to see what's happening out in front. Wolfie using a lot of battery here, maybe a little bit too much here. Look, there's Rose doing the same, but I think he's used a little bit too much here, Wolfie. Look, he's got no battery left to use. He's doing everything to get into this DRS range. Is he in it? It's very close. He is in the DRS range, but he's got to keep up the pace. This isn't over for Rose or Wolfie here. There's still 2 laps left, and Wolfie, obviously, with that 1 lap fresher tyre, it might not be thinking, you might be thinking that's making much of a difference, but it will by the end of this race. You will hear the tyre difference between the pair of them, and you think, wow, actually, never mind. It is making a slight difference, but right now, Rose got the exit he needed. Wolfie hasn't got the battery. He got DRS initially, but that is it. He is out once again, and he is to make a miracle lap on this next Saw round to hope that he has something good happen to him. Wisman, interestingly, in the pit lane, so maybe he's seen a gap that he can pit into, maybe for a set of soft tyres. He's going to do it. Hank is up to P6, but I think Wisman has timed this pretty badly. He'll be behind a couple cars on his fast lap attempt, I'm assuming this will be. I don't think that's a puncture of any sort, unless his tyre wear was that awful on the mediums. I doubt it was. But yeah, he is in, and he's going to keep going. And look, he's right up close there with our Henson. He should make the move pretty easily. But yeah, it's just 3.5 second gap ahead of him that he should be worrying about, especially with Baz and Hazard still flying out here. Hazard not using battery. Baz with the DRS. Can he actually make any inroads? No, he can't. And Wisbone is able to get past our Henson at least for his race. And I think now, let's turn to the last lap over here. And I don't think anything else is really going to happen now. Wolfie's saved him a lot of battery, in all fairness. We'll have to actually see if he's able to keep going. Rose hasn't got much battery to play with here. Wolfie trying his best to get back in, but I think he's using too much right now. He's on the single digits once again. And he's going to get DRS once again, starting the lap. But will he get it up Eau Rouge? That is the key point here. It looks to be a pretty good entry and exit for the pair of these guys. But right now, Wolfie really needs to make sure that he can hold on towards turn 1. Bluebird in the background there starts his last lap too, but obviously he's not going to make too many inroads now to these guys out in front. He's done well in this race, but someone who we still need to look at here, Wolfie and Rose at the minute. Wolfie's got no battery left, but now he's got the chance to save a little bit here as he's behind Rose at the minute, but I don't think he'll even try and save here. Look, he's got no battery to play with. Look, he's trying his best to take every last bit of battery out of that car. He's got nothing left, though. And if there's no mistakes now, it should mean Rose is off to a 4th win of the season and a little bit more of a buffer in that championship. And meanwhile, though, Hazard, Paz, and Wisburn closes up 3.5 seconds in 1 lap. Obviously, there's 12-year-old hard tyres involved here, and incredibly fresh softs. Look at this. As Wisman probably trying to set a fast up attempt here, and these two, they're trying to play DRS chicken with each other. Wisman should be past these guys, but let's have a look. As Hazard has to be careful of the McLaren behind him. He is to be careful of the McLaren behind him, but is McLaren going to get boxed in? No, he absolutely darts around Baz Brain. So unfortunately with Baz, he hasn't played it right there at the end. Hazard gets past on his medium tyres. He has done a great job here too. Now we're going to cut to the guys up in front here, as it's still quite close, but I don't think there'll be any last-minute sends here. We'll have to make sure of it, and meanwhile, actually, Paz Braids getting quite close to Hazard, but we'll have to turn away from that now. Wolfie has done his best. He tried the 1 lap later strategy, but it has not worked out for him. Wolfie, in the end, has himself a second. He probably tries to fake a move into the inside. He doesn't do so. Rose, like always, holds his nerve, and he is going to win for the 4th time in Season 14. Rose takes the win in Spa, Wolfie P2, and Bluebird with an absolutely amazing podium for him as well. That is his 2nd podium in, I think, 6 races. Blackbird takes P4. We're going to keep cutting back to the action in a minute, though. Blackbird, once again, actually, lovely result for him too. Pablos as well in P5. Hank with a 2-stop, also actually able to make it into that P6 spot. So pretty good job from him, unless he got another penalty. I don't think he did. But look at the fighting still going on here. We still got Baz right next to Hazard here. We don't know what's going to happen. There might be a send of all sense coming up for the Mercedes. Hazard hasn't got much battery left. He tries his best, Baz, but he's not able to make it work. Did Wisburn pick up a fast lap at the end? He did not pick up the fast lap at the end, so Bluebird does get to keep that one too. Hazard comes across the line for a nice P8. Henson there for a P9 too. Wisburn obviously P7, but without that fast lap point, Baz drops to 10th with that penalty in the end. And we've got the last few here, coming around the final few corners. We've got Kadon, Kodoy, who also I think actually, did he go for a two-stop strategy in the end? Yes, he did. That is what happened with him. So yeah, Kadon P11, Kodoy P12, G. Benny, I think he tried to set fast up 2. 44.9, so he got quite close as well. But yeah, unfortunately with him, no fastest lap this time round. And Ardnor will finish the race with a somehow forced-off strategy. I don't know what's happened there, but he still picks up that points finish for his sake. Congratulations to everybody who has finished this race. We also had the DNFs as well. I think of Cold, Pillow, and Ben, I believe it was. Both of them, unfortunately, did not do the full race with us. But once again, we've said it a couple of times already. Rose wins the race, and it's 4 now for Rose. I actually don't know how many this is in a row, in fact. It might only be a couple in a row, I don't know. Rose won round 1, and I think he's on a 3 in a row streak now. Yeah, Monaco to Silverstone to Spa. Rose dominates pretty much the first half of the season, but he's still got a challenger in Wolfie. He is still only a couple points back. May have been Rose on pole, and it may have been Rose with the win, but I believe that is only an 8-point gap. So Rose still has his work out for him. Wolfie has his work out for him. And we're going to have a pretty lovely last race of the season in 2026. But before that, we'll run through the grid in the end of things. It'd be nice if it told me. Otherwise, I'll just run it through on here. I don't think it will tell me here, which is pretty annoying. But we'll run it through on here anyway. Rose takes the win in the end of things with Wolfie P2. Bluebird takes P3 with the fastest start point as well. Obviously, Rose takes up pole position point 2, so he gets 26 points. Bluebird with 21, obviously. Slightly different point system for us, and that is how it works for us. Blackbird at P4, Pablos at P5, Hank takes P6, Whisper P7, without that fast up, unfortunately for him. We have Hazard there in P8, Henson P9, Baz P10, we had Kade on P11, Kodoy P12, G. Benny P13, Ardnor P14, who rounded out our points finishes in the end. And we had Ben and Cold Pillow, the 2 that did not finish. Right then, that has been a pretty damn good race, all things considered. Unfortunately, the qualifying was not really the spectacle that I thought. But other than that, the race, pretty damn decent. And now we are on a few-week break. We will not see you at Christmas Eve. We will not see you on New Year's Eve. We will be seeing you on the 7th of January to kickstart our last 5 races of the season. We have Monza, Austin, Interlagos, Las Vegas, and Yas Marina. Those are our last 5 races to do. We have got a championship on the line, and our constructors, in fact, I need to double-check that one too. This is getting pretty close. Haas look to have gotten ahead of Sauber by only 2 points. Rose Wolf obviously doing a lot of heavy lifting for their sides, but right now it's close. Ferrari as well, actually, not doing too bad as well. Blackbone, P4 the driver's standings. Let me just double check that one. No, you are P3, in fact, Blackbone. I believe you're P3. Unless something's gone wrong here. Hold on a minute. Something has gone wrong here. Yeah, sorry. I believe you are P4. Sorry for ruining your dreams like that. Let me just double check that. Hold on a minute. Actually, these results might change. You're only 4 points off P3 though, Blackbone. So keep your head up. And yeah, there we go. That is the end of this race. And BRL will be on a couple-week break for the rest of the season. Congrats to our top 3 of Rose, Wolfie, and Bluebird. And I will be seeing you all a couple of weeks later in Monza. I'm Miss Cookie. This has been BRL Season 14, Round 5 here at Spa. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.